What's going on, guys? No, just checking in. Today I would like to talk about bullies, dealing with them, my experiences with them, and just the whole topic of people that go out of their way to make other people feel poorly and or physically threaten people, to deal with their own insecurities, whatever. Recently I was bullied, and that's a really weird thing for me to say, but I'm pretty sure of it. I was recently bullied, and I didn't even know I was being bullied, and that's mostly the reason I wanted to share this with you, because this person got the best of me and made me feel bad about myself. And the reason that's so crazy to me is because I haven't had anyone even try to bully me in forever. I can't think of the last time someone tried to bully me. Now, I like to think of myself as pretty mentally strong, pretty self-confident, certainly smart enough and assertive enough to deal with anyone who I think is trying to put me down for no apparent reason. I'm a tough person to bully. On top of that, I'm a relatively big guy. I've got tattoos, the beard, I'm 240, I lift weights. I'm not one of those guys that you would imagine gets bullied very often. I wasn't even trying to sound like cocky or vain. I'm just saying, you can imagine it just doesn't happen a lot. But what I learned is that bullies come in all shapes, forms, and sizes, and I previously identified bullies as one type of person. Big, insecure, usually not terribly bright, male, who has physical gifts, mental inadequacies, and loves to just go after people that are weaker than them, people that look vulnerable, and that is what a bully has always meant to me and always been to me. So before I tell you about my recent experience being bullied and why it's so important for me to share it with you, I want to talk about my experience being bullied when I was a kid. So when I was a sixth grader, I came into a big middle school, and I had previously come from a pretty small school, and then prior to that school, I was in a private school my whole life. My first experience ever being bullied was in sixth grade. Came into this new school, and lunchtime, sixth graders met up with everybody, I guess, out on the playing field for recess, and we played tackle football. Now, I reveled in this opportunity to play tackle football. I liked being physical. I thought it was fun. And beyond that, eighth graders played tackle football, and eighth graders tackled the shit out of the sixth graders. So I took this as an opportunity to be really physical back. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. None of my friends felt confident enough to go ahead and try to tackle the eighth graders, but I was about that life. I was like, why would we not tackle them back? I thought they would think that was awesome. I thought it would be like a rite of passage, to lay one of them out. And so I did. In the context of the game, I tackled eighth graders all day long. Didn't care for the first couple days of school, my first couple days of middle school in general in sixth grade here in the States. And so let's say after a few days of doing that, at the end of a recess, one of the eighth graders who I was, playing with, as everyone's heading in towards classes, he takes the football and he chucks it over my head, but I thought he was passing it to me. He goes way over my head, and he goes, "Hey, can you go get that?" And so, I was so excited that he was even talking to me, because he's like this big eighth grader, and I'm just this nobody sixth grader. So I turn around and I go to get the ball, and then one by one, him and 5 of his buddies proceed to tackle me from behind, and every time I tried to get to my feet, I was tackled again, and then tackled again. Oh! And then tackled again, and eventually I had the wind knocked out of me, and I'm on my hands and knees trying to get up, and I'm starting to cry. I've definitely been a little fucked up by all these hard tackles. One of them runs up and kicks me in the stomach, straight out of a movie, levels me. And then I roll to my back, and now I'm crying, and I'm holding myself, and I'm muddied up because I've been drugged through the dirt, so to speak. And then they all start kicking me and spitting on me and cussing me out or whatever. And so that was my first experience just getting bullied, physically bullied. And I've had bullies try to, verbally bully me, but that's a lot harder to do. And so after that experience, once I healed up, broken rib, black eye, I got fucked up. And those kids got in big trouble, whatever. But it did not make me more afraid of bullies, but it just put them on my radar. Like, okay, there's the type of people out there, or type of person out there that can do something like that. I could never do something like that to someone. I've never even considered bullying someone. I swear, I'm not a saint, but that's just something I would never do. And so I decided right then and there that I would be a protector. I would stand up for myself. I would be aware of people trying to bully, and I didn't care if I got hurt. I would always stand up to bullies. And as I grew into that role and found more confidence, I found more bullies. Usually people were more interested in being verbally abusive than they were physically abusive, but I was very cocky but confident in my stance that if you tried to pick on me or anyone I knew, I'd be right in your face. and we would deal with it. And that's how I dealt with it. And I'm not saying that's the right way to deal with it, but I became that person. And so I stayed that person all throughout middle school and high school. I'd be the last person that anyone would want to try to bully because I just didn't take any shit from anyone. I was like, I never want to be taken advantage of again. And if that meant getting my ass kicked in a fair fight, one that I squared up for, I would accept that. And so that's my history with being bullied, and that's how I dealt with bullies, by calling them out. And usually I would just try to talk circles around them and make fun of them, or turn things around on them and make them feel stupid in front of other people. And I've had some close calls, and I'm certainly not saying that's how you deal with bullies, but I think you have to deal with them in general. I believe that. You don't ever let someone bring you down. You never let someone trash you verbally or physically. You figure out a way to deal with them, whether that be remove yourself from the situation or confront them head on or seek help and guidance and go there, but you don't ever sit there and take it. I believed that then. And then life went on, Life went on, and I hadn't dealt with a bully in a long time. Certainly after the prick class of above me graduated high school, I had no one else to deal with, and I was very happy with that. And so my life moved on, and I forgot all about bullies until recently. Throughout the years, I've had younger brothers come to me, and I've had to deal with some bullies and scare some people and do my thing. But anyway, recently, I got my feelings hurt by a bully. I was bullied, like legitimately bullied, and I had no clue that's what was happening because, like I had alluded to, or like I've said, bullies to me were big, bonehead, insecure guys. That was just the picture of a bully I always experienced. Rarely did I see anything else growing up, and so this girl recently was hired on at the place that I work, and she's 18 years old. And immediately, I noticed that this girl was very snarky and sarcastic. I want you to hear me out, by the way. I'm going to be very honest and vulnerable with you right now. Some of you might think this makes me sound soft. I don't give a damn. This is my reality. This was my experience, and I'm going to share it with you. And I'm going to be sincere about it and tell you why it affected me and why I wanted to talk to you about it. But anyway, this girl got hired at my job, and she's 18. She's a bit overweight. She's not terribly attractive. She's very smart and bright. But she's very sarcastic, very snarky, always making little off comments. For example, if I'm humming a song, she'll comment on, ooh, nice voice. If I'm wearing an outfit she doesn't like, she'll say, nice outfit. If I drop something, she'll comment on that. If I'm reading a book, she'll make a comment on the book. It doesn't matter. This girl, I noticed this instantly about her. She was constantly dictating her thoughts sarcastically in almost every circumstance about my actions and my words. But I just let it slide. I let it slide because this girl was new. She's clearly trying to fit in, and obviously an insecure person. I thought that from the second I met her. I'm like, oh, this girl has no confidence and no social awareness. But she's really bright, and we need her here, and she's doing a pretty good job. And so I let it go. I let it go that she was doing this because I saw her doing it to a couple other people. But what happened was, and I'm going to try to get to the point, that was 6 months ago. This girl never stopped making these comments about me. She never stopped teasing me. She never stopped making fun of me. And I made excuses for her and just created reasons in my head not to make a big deal about it. Oh, I didn't want to embarrass her. Oh, she's harmless. Oh, that's just the way she is. But what ended up happening, and this was such a good learning experience for me, what ended up happening is I eventually started dreading seeing this girl. This fucking nobody girl who I don't know from Adam prior to this job, a job I've been at for years, and I love everyone there and they all love me, but this negative little energy in her comes out and starts spewing her insecurity and her negativity on me so often that I subconsciously bought into her shittiness. I didn't even realize it, but within the last month, I've noticed that I started to get insecure being around her. Started to tone myself down in terms of how I am and my personality. I started to act scared around her in terms of thinking about what I'm going to say, how I'm going to behave, how I'm going to do it. Because if I do this, she'll comment on it. If she hears me singing, she's going to comment on it. And I am such a confronter and such a communicator that it was such a humbling experience to be put in this corner to where I started to feel bad about myself. From her. You couldn't have paid me $1 million. I never would have believed that could happen to me, period. I'm someone who will never let someone be rude to him. But For whatever reason, I let this one girl get away with saying negative, rude, mean shit, condescending shit to me here and there, little jabs, little pokes, and it wore me down emotionally until it came to a head a few days ago. At work, we're all watching the Oregon football game against Ohio State. I made a comment about something the coach had done like this. I looked at the other doctor who was working there, happens to be male. I said, hey, doc, I wonder what this means, just being a guy. And this girl who's sitting in the other part of the room calls me out in front of everyone and says, what are we, 13? Are you so immature that you can't handle this? And she starts mocking me and teasing me in front of everyone, which is something she had done, but it snapped in me. I was embarrassed. I got embarrassed by this girl. And I can't think of, oh my God, no one can embarrass me. But this girl finally embarrassed me. But it wasn't because of that one incident. It's because I had let her chop me down for months. This inconsequential, random little insecure girl. And I let her chop me down once. And so I pulled her aside and I finally set up some boundaries. I went back to my roots and I realized, holy shit, I've been getting bullied these last few months. How sad is that I couldn't identify that this girl was actually being rude to me or mean to me? As silly as that sounds, I'm a grown-ass man, but this girl was just being mean, and I let her. And I let her to the point where I actually started questioning myself. I actually started to feel bad about myself. I actually got embarrassed. And I was now thinking about her outside of work. Thinking about the things she had said, which is ridiculous to me. Whoa. The reason I'm sharing this all with you, and I'm oversharing because this is taking too long, but the reason it was so important for me to share this with you is because it's proof that bullies come in all shapes and sizes, and you cannot make excuses for anybody bringing you down. Anybody consistently for no good reason bringing you down, saying rude things, being snarky, being sarcastic, mocking you, belittling you. There's no place for it. Especially if you're one of those people like me who has a big history of depression and anxiety. You need good people in your life. And if you know someone's bringing you down, you say something. I've always said something, but for some reason, because I didn't identify the packaging of her being a bully, I let her bring me down for way too long. So I finally talked to her and just called her out. Just completely called her out. Like, done being nice, done just letting it go. Like, I just laid it out for her, and she got all frazzled and embarrassed. And I basically, without going on any further, I said, if you don't say something nice to me, you don't say anything at all. Do you understand? You no longer have the permission to speak with me and engage with me unless it's work-related or you're going to say something nice. I'm done dealing with your shit. I had no idea this was happening until just now. It really hit me. Holy crap. Because I don't have anyone like that in my life. I'm really blessed. I have people that build me up, I build them up. We love each other, we encourage each other. We call each other out on our shit, but we don't ever try to bring each other down. And so I had lost touch of what that looks like when someone's so ugly inside that they gotta try to bring someone else to feel better. Bring someone else down to feel better about themselves. And this girl's not maliciously evil. She's just a stupid kid. And I should have said something on day one when I noticed it. She just needs to learn, and she will. She's just dealing with her own stuff. The point is, if you're still here, and I'd be shocked if you were, because I've been babbling for a while, the point is, don't ever stand for being bullied, no matter what. That's what I relearned that about myself. A bully could be anyone. Someone that goes out of their way to make you feel bad about yourself. And if you notice that happening, you say something. I've always been that way. This snuck up on me. Now I've learned my lesson again, because I don't care how strong-willed you are, how self-assured you are, nobody can handle hearing bad things about themselves or being made fun of endlessly before some of that bullshit starts to creep through and make you feel bad, and you start to think about it. And that's what happened to me. My wall, my defense, it was permeated by this person for being rude to me, being mean to me over and over and over again, to the point where it started to hurt my feelings and affected me. Rudeness, hatred, it can eventually break through if you don't set boundaries, you don't stop it dead in its tracks. So if you got anything out of that, I'm glad. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I actually thought it was really important to me to share and to encourage you guys. If you're being bullied, do something about it, no matter what. Do something about it. I'm not saying fight the person. I'm not saying put yourself at risk or in danger, but do something. Make it stop, no matter what. Because you can't afford to have someone bring you down and take up space in your head that doesn't have your best interest at heart and who's obviously just hurting themselves. Hurting people hurt people. And I believe that. And so I just wanted to share that with you. And I spoke for so long. How you doing? You all right? I've been talking forever. But thank you for letting me share. That is my story, ever so long-winded, of the time I got bullied as a kid, being bullied recently, and just not recognizing a bully for what a bully can look like, and what I did about it, which is just set some boundaries and stuck up for myself. And now I plan to be more aware of that in the future, and be really grateful for the people that build you up in your life, because there are a lot of people that feel lonely and don't know how to get any type of energy from others other than the negative energy that can be gotten from I don't know, being a dick. So that's all I got. Please, in the comments below, if you're still here, share with me a time you got bullied, or share with me a time that you bullied and why you feel bad about it, how you dealt with it, and I'd really love to hear your guys' stories. I really would. Big No-No signing out. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you so very much, and I love you, and fuck a bully. Don't ever let anyone bring you down. Adios.